I guess it's fair to say, truly, now you get my other sermon. Right. Did you know that $500 bills are not widely in circulation? Did you know that finance committees are terribly uncomfortable when priests try to use $500 bills to teach children about tithing? Anyway, never mind. Boy, I'd love to stand here today and preach to you a totally pedestrian pledge message. I'd love to tell you that, things are just the same. We've got a finance team. They need to put together a budget. The lights need to be on. We need to have the heating either not working or working too much, whatever, depending on the Sunday. We need to have our programs and our ministries and our staff and our vestments and all of those kinds of things. And gosh, just in the whole stack, in our house, my wife keeps the stack. And it's the stack of all the bills, and in there go all the requests that start to pile up in the holiday season. And, I just get the mail, I bring it home, and my wife organizes it and does all that to it. And I would love just to tell you that, it's just another year coming up, and gosh, we just need to turn the calendar sheet, and, we really need your help. But that's not the sermon that I can share with you today. Why not? Well, I went on a sabbatical leave. Times away give God the chance to seriously, internally rewire clergy. And God's doing a work inside of me, rewiring me. I know we're going to have budgets. I know those are important. But I am so much more being called to deal with hearts and souls and minds and marriages and families right now. I cannot preach that sermon to you because just since we were here a year ago, a study out 4 days ago documents that over 100,000 Christians were executed for their faith in the past 12 months. Let me just give you that number again. Over 100,000 brothers and sisters executed for the faith that you and I are about to profess in the Nicene Creed. Do you know that Coptic Christians in Egypt, some of whom are Anglicans, meaning they're connected to our global family, have gone to communion services on a Sunday morning just like you and I are? They know that there is a great chance that underneath one of those chairs or old wooden pews, there is a bomb. And 3 times in the past 6 months, there has been one. What's my biggest challenge as a rector in the Vail Valley? The Broncos schedule. Really eats into the life of faith. Truly. The ski opening, when the ski mountain opens and so forth. We don't have to worry. But there are plenty of Christians out there that do have to worry about such a simple thing as walking in the front door of a church. Can I tell you that a year ago, I could stand up in a public assembly and say a prayer. I'm not quite so sure if I did that today that I would not be litigated against. There's some interesting conversations about clergy, about all of that. Do you know that it's sad that I had to send out on a prayer chain this week that our cathedral in Denver, not across the world, our cathedral at 1300 Washington Street was closed for 3 days because of an unspecified threat. I can't stand here and preach a normal sermon at all. As I look back in the readings today, what gives me great comfort is to know that Jesus knew exactly the times that we are headed towards. He says in the Gospel of Luke, way before there was a book of Revelation to read, he says to his own followers, you're going to head into a time that you've never been in before. He says nations are going to rise up against nations. He says there's going to be wars and threats and rumors of wars. He didn't even read a CNN ticker, for goodness sake. Do you know that when I open my MSN homepage, the fact that there's a school shooting doesn't even make the top ticker? I think that's almost more disturbing than when it does. Friends, we are heading into a very chaotic world. And a normal message just isn't going to cut. I prayed to God about a pledge message that would make a great deal of sense. And I haven't exactly given the family I'm about to air out I want to tell you that I got a pledge message. In fact, I got two of them. One was a couple of weeks back from my sabbatical leave. This is a pledge card. It's not blue. It's not printed on a computer. Hi, Father, I'm translating here. Hi, Father Brooks. It is me, Susanna. I wanted to tell you what. I love going to church at your church. Let me take a look at a beautiful note. Here on this side, I'm just going to show you this dollar. It's been hanging on my cubicle at the office since late July. We had a child. Both of these children were here this morning, right around this table. We had a child clean her home and earn $1. When was the last time we ever actually talked about this? Earning $1. She cleaned about 3 weeks. She's about 4 or 5 years old. She earned $1. And what she told her parents she wanted to do with this dollar is bring it to church and give it to God. And so I stood at the back of this church, right at that door, shaking hands in my beautifully chaotic fashion. And I honestly had a little girl say, I'd like to give you something, and she gave me this dollar. This is one of the best pledge gifts we've ever received in our church. And I said to her, I knelt down, I said, do you know what God's going to do with this dollar? Well, God's going to take it through the finance committee and 2 draft budgets, and we're going to go to the vestry, and then we're going to email. No, I didn't say that. I said, you know, God's going to take this dollar like that boy brought his lunchbox to Jesus. The little loaves and fish, do you remember? And God's going to bless this, and He's going to help us change people's lives. And I said, and I choked up, and I said, thank you for this gift, because it reminds me about why I became a priest and why we have a church. The first beautiful gift of this year's pledge campaign. Friends, this is our pledge card. It's not all that scary. Would you do me a favor? If you're a member of our church and you happen to get a letter with a card like this, would you take it out of the stack? I actually take this out of the stack. Yes, I'm the priest, but okay. I take it out of the stack. And I ask God, honestly, Lord, what do you want me to do? I had someone tell me this week, oh, Father Brooks, I'm just going to have to give you money this year. I'm out of time. What's my wise pastoral response? Okay, sure, that works. I've had several people say to me, I can't fill out the card because I don't have any money. To which I say, you know, the best gift you'll ever give this church is the gift of your time. That's the most valuable thing anybody has. We are blessed when you share your time with us. Can I tell you that when I look at this pledge card, I don't see a blue piece of paper. I see the handwritten note of a little girl who can come to a church that is warm and safe. It's her place. And she knows no matter what else is happening in her life, that every Sunday morning she's going to get loved, she's going to get listened to, she's going to be taught, she's going to be disciplined if she does something, funky. she's going to be fed a ridiculous amount of sugar and carbohydrates. You know? And she's going to learn about the Lord. I just want to say that churches run pledge drives, not just for lights and heat, not just for budgets and salaries. Churches run pledges drives so that we can be a place where the love of God is shared in a ridiculous amount of ways. Can I tell you that when I sat with Steve Baird in that canteen down in Lyons, Colorado, the only Salvation canteen left, thousands of meals, and I just drove up for one meal. I felt so privileged. I've never felt more privileged to serve cheeseburgers in my life. Because the people that walked up, the only thing they said was, "Thank you, and we're glad you're here." When I went down to Austin, Texas, and I held the hand of Jennifer McCorkle, the woman whose memorial service we're about to conduct, I held Jennifer's hand, and Jennifer said, "Thank you." It was like a chapel in the assisted living facility. We had an older woman leave the valley yesterday, just in the nick of time with the weather. Ann Rapetti, she's been here for over 30 years. She didn't want to leave. She tried to sneak off the jet, before I left. She really did not want to leave. I was at her home Wednesday night. She took my hand and she said, "Do you know what I want more than anything else?" She said, "I want to sit in my pew at the Vail Chapel on Sunday." When was the last time I felt like that? The privilege that we have to be a church that matters in people's lives. Friends, what Jesus said is exactly true. Wars, chaos, typhoons, floods, we got it all. But we also have something that is so much more powerful. The love of God given through Jesus Christ. That's why this church is here. That's why we're going to continue to get gifts like that little dollar. That's the most important pledge we've ever gotten. And that's why we're going to be here for you Sunday after Sunday. Do me a favor. Take it out of the stack. Actually ask God. And then fill it out. Say a prayer. And you know what God will do? He'll take our little loaves and fishes. He's going to bless it. He's going to multiply it. And He's going to feed so many people. Thanks be to God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son,